Hey everybody, so today I wanted to come on here and do a video on a highly requested topic. I had asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted me to do a video on this topic, and a lot of you commented and said absolutely you wanted to see me do this video. So this video is on leveling up, you know, and then when it comes to leveling up your life, there's so many different ways you can do it. Like, there's so many different levels to it, which sounds funny, but it's true. So the first way you can level up your life, in my opinion, the first way I decided I was going to level up my life was through changing my thinking. And you know, this is something that takes practice and time, but you really have to manifest your reality, manifest what you want into reality. And once I realized this was possible was probably when I got my dream car. Like, I wanted this Lexus RX 350 my whole life. It was my dream car at one point. Now it's not anymore because I got it. But and now I want a Tesla. But my dream car was my Lexus. So after just really like believing and knowing that I deserved this car, I was going to get this car, I was going to work for this car, this is going to be my car. When I got this car and it had like everything I ever wanted in it, from the dream interior to like, it just looked exactly how I wanted it to look, I was like, wow, I really spoke this into reality. This is insane. Like, I never imagined having that. So it was like the year before I graduated, I think, something like that, year before I graduated college. But it was just so crazy how saying mantras and certain statements and putting those statements out into the universe and really truly believing in what I was saying made it reality. I've done this with so many things in my life, and I'm gonna tell you guys the main mantra that I say all the time, and I've said it for years and years and years, and it is, everything I have I deserve, and I deserve everything and more. And I know it sounds a bit like, okay, that's it. Yeah, that is my main mantra that I say. Another one is, my account is abundant, my account is overflowing. Like your bank account is overflowing. But the mantra that I was talking about, everything I have I deserve, and I deserve everything and more. So this is something I say over and over again. I believe it. I believe that I deserve everything in the world and more. Everything I have in this house, from my dog, my bed, my home, my car, you know, everything in my life that I have to this date, I deserve. In every sense of the word, I believe that. And I deserve everything and more. I deserve everything else that I want in this world. I deserve it. If I want a gorgeous townhouse in London, if I speak it into the world like I already have it, then I'm going to have it. I believe that so fully, you all, that there's nothing in my head that's going to tell me otherwise. There's nothing in this world that's going to tell me otherwise, or that's going to make me feel otherwise. Another thing that I say is that things always work out for me, you know? And I'm not just saying things always work out for me. It's something I actually say and I believe. Things always work out for me. And this is what I feel like you should say to yourself. Say, things always work out for me. Good things always happen to me, you know? Say that to yourself a few times a day, or whenever you're feeling like upset about something, say, things always work out for me. And you'll be surprised how things just start changing for you. You have to believe it though. You have to. You have to believe that things always work out for you, that good things always happen to you. That reality that you're living in should be a reality where good things always happen to you and things always work out the right way for you. You know, even if you don't realize it at that very moment, things always end up working out for you. If you say it if you believe it, you will put that into the universe, and it will be, and it will become reality. I know these things sound kind of like fluffy and silly and whatever, but it has made my life so much better. So much better. Good things happen to me all the time. That's what I say to myself. It sounds like I'm saying it like to you, but these are things that I want you to say to yourself. Say to yourself, everything I have I deserve, and I deserve everything and more. Then say, good things always happen to me. You know, things always work out for me. And believe it. Then if you want to go even further, say my bank account is abundant, my bank account is overflowing, my bank account is overflowing. You can say stuff like that. You speak these things into reality and they will become your reality. I can do a full video on how manifestation has changed my life and like tell you guys about a couple of the things that I've manifested, but it really does work. And for me, changing your thinking and really believing that you deserve everything, because you do. You deserve everything that you want. You deserve that penthouse suite. You deserve that nice luxury car. You deserve to get a raise at work. You deserve a great man who's not going to like be a cheater or a liar. You know what I mean? You deserve all these amazing things to happen to you, and you have to believe it. You have to change your thinking. You have to start thinking more positively, because once you do that, you'll notice how your life will change. So the next thing that I think you can do to level up, and the things that I suggest to my friends that they do, is to educate yourself. But not just to educate yourself by going to a university. You don't have to go to college. I went to college for 4 years. I used my degree to a certain extent, but not as much as I would like. I am planning on going back to school for something else in the fall, but I do believe in constantly educating yourself. Read books. I have so many amazing books in my house, and I feel like I should probably show you guys a couple of them just so you guys can see a couple of the books that I read that are also really helpful when it comes to just, you know, leveling up your life. I have 3 books in my hand, and these 3 books are really helpful if you're trying to level up your life, if you're trying to just get motivated. I actually have about 40 more books in my house that I could show you, but these 3 are the first 3 that came to mind. So this book right here, it says, it's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be. And these are just kind of like little, like, this is not really like a book that you read straight through, but it's basically just gives you little like motivating pages, like, do not seek praise, seek criticism. And it says, do not covet your ideas. Have you noticed how the cleverest people at school are not those who make it in life? It's just a book that like can motivate you and help you, and it has like, it's not a book that you read straight through. You can literally just open to a random page and start reading, and it's really, really nice, and it can be really motivating. The second book is a book that a lot of people talk about. It's called Think and Grow Rich. I think this is an amazing book. I got mine on Amazon. I love the black and gold, and it's just a really amazing book if you want to really like be, if you're thinking of starting a business, if you're thinking of just ways that you can change your life, read this book, and I feel like it will motivate you to make change in your life. And then this book, I saw this book on Goop on Instagram, and it's how to get done and why women need to stop doing everything so they can achieve anything. This is a book that I haven't finished yet, but I do like it so far. But when I tell you guys just to speak things into existence, educate yourself, these are things that like you can read these books and you don't have to take and do everything they say to do verbatim. Take little parts of like the books you read, and you just make little notes in your head and you save them for a rainy day. The reason I say educating yourself is a way that you can level up is because you don't have to educate yourself by going to school. But if you want to do that, that's perfect. What I'm saying is when you educate yourself to where you can actually have confident, intelligent conversation with just about anyone from any level, from any tax bracket, whatever, that will help you in more ways than one. It will help you for the rest of your life. Just being able to talk about the news intelligently, or listening to NPR on the radio and being like, oh, this is a really interesting story. I'm gonna remember that and tell somebody about it later. And then you'll have like a random conversation at a bar one day, and you'll bring up that story that you heard on NPR, and the person's gonna be like, wow, how do you know that? That's so interesting. It's just something that makes a difference, because there's nothing worse than having ignorant conversation. You know, there's nothing worse than having a conversation where you're just bullshitting the whole thing, okay? When you are educated in what you're talking about, and you're not speaking from a point of ignorance, but you're speaking about stuff that you actually have read up on, or you've like watched and then you read up on it, or you studied in school, or whatever the case may be, it makes you more appealing. It makes you more confident when you're having certain conversations, because you do have facts to back up what you're saying. It makes people more likely to want to have conversations with you because you're just so intelligent and you know what you're talking about and you have facts to back up what you're saying, and you're not just spewing out ignorance. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse to me than people who just don't know anything. You know, when you can't have an educated conversation about politics because you don't watch the news. And then you try to say something about politics, but you don't know what you're talking about, and you end up being wrong because you didn't educate yourself first before you spoke. Another good thing I feel like a lot of people should do is think before you speak. Now, this sounds silly. This sounds like something you tell a child, right? But no. Well, the reason I say that this is a way that you can level up, because this has something to do with educating yourself. When you don't know what to say, or you're nervous, or you're on a date or something, and you don't want to ramble, you don't want to seem ignorant, think about what you're going to say before you say it. Don't just talk really fast and say whatever's on your mind, because that's really not always the best way to do it. Don't just say anything that's on your mind. Don't just spew out everything you're thinking. When you think about what you're gonna say before you say it, and then you can calmly like get your thoughts together and then just say like a clear sentence without stuttering, without rambling, it definitely makes you come off a lot more educated. It makes you come off like, I mean, it just makes you seem smarter than somebody who is just going to be out here like, and then they're not even like thinking about what you're saying. They're just spewing out all this different types of information, some stuff that doesn't even have anything to do with the conversation. And then you have people looking at you like, why are you talking so fast? Like, why are they telling me all this stuff? When you think about what you're gonna say before you say it, it helps you in the long run. And also realize educating yourself is something you should constantly be doing. You should constantly be looking up certain books to read. Even if you're not going to read the whole thing in 1 week. Just like if you see something that sounds interesting, or you hear something on NPR that sounds interesting, look it up. You know, go and like do some research on certain topics. Take a college course if you want to. Constantly educating yourself makes you more attractive in the long run, because you can use your education in more ways than not. You know what I mean? When you educate yourself in multiple subjects, it basically makes you more of a conversationalist. Watching documentaries, going to school, read books, listen to NPR, do stuff like that. So in my life, one of the first things I started to change, or I noticed that needed to be changed, were my makeup skills. You don't have to wear makeup if you don't want to, okay? I'm not telling you you have to go out and wear makeup, but I really, really, really advise people to at least learn how to do makeup correctly for your face shape. And I know back in the day I used to use like Kevyn Aucoin concealer that was like 5 shades lighter than my actual skin tone, and I thought it looked cute. And I still think it looked cute, but I definitely felt like once I actually learned how to correctly do my eyebrows, instead of making them look like they were drawn on with Sharpie, I changed the shape of them. I learned how to put eyelashes on. I just learned how to do my makeup. It took practice, but I watched YouTube videos and I was looking at them on the YouTube video and I'm like, I'm going to just sit in front of this mirror. What I used to do is I said to myself, I'm going to sit in front of this mirror and I'm going to learn how to contour my nose, and I am not going to stop practicing until I get it right. And I contoured my nose like 10 times in one day. Obviously I would wipe it off and redo it, wipe it off and redo it. But at the end of the day, I found out how to do my makeup correctly for my face shape in a way in which I liked. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to do your makeup like me. You do your makeup how you want to do it, but just do it to where you don't look super cakey. Do it to where you don't look super overdone. I like the way I do my makeup. I don't feel like I look super overdone. My skin doesn't look super cakey and cracky and crusty, and you can't really see my pores, but I like how I do my makeup. So for me, that was really, really important, because once I got more confident with doing my makeup, you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew I looked gorgeous when I left the house. I knew, I'm like, ooh, my eyebrows look so good. And the same thing goes for hair. Okay, so I wear a wig now. I used to get sew-ins. One thing about sew-ins is if you leave them in for too long, your new growth will start showing and then you'll be clockable. Then people will be able to look at you and be like, she's wearing a sew-in, oh my God. Or she needs to get her hair done, oh my God. I found for me, wearing wigs, taking them off at night, putting them on in the day, and actually the best thing for me was learning how to make my own wigs to where they laid flat as possible to my head and they just looked more natural. That was the best decision I ever made. Okay, so I say that because now I feel significantly more confident when I'm doing my hair, because I know my hair is going to look snatched. I know it's going to look like it's growing out of my scalp most of the time, and I know I'm going to look good. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I haven't done my edges in a while, or oh my God, like all this new growth coming out, like my hair looks crazy. Or a lot of times back in the day, a lot of us had the mullet, where you had your natural hair and then you had your clip-ins underneath, and you would try to straighten your natural hair to match your clip-ins, and it wasn't working. You knew it wasn't working, but you thought you looked cute. And that was also because you didn't have social media to compare yourself to, which was a good thing back then. When you have like a goal in mind, and my goal was get my makeup to look more seamless, get my makeup to look more perfected, you know, more poreless, get my eyebrows to not look like they were drawn on with Sharpie. I used to do my eyebrows with a black eyeliner pencil. Come on now. Like, when I decided I'm gonna really like try at this, I'm really going to try and sit down and get my makeup to look flawless. And I practice, and years later, I like how I do my makeup now. You know, it's not perfect all the time, but for the most part, I think I look great. So just sitting down and practicing when it comes to making your own wig, when it comes to doing your makeup, sit down and practice, perfect that, because this is your outward appearance. This is what everybody sees first. Then they hear your personality, then they hear your voice, then they hear about how educated you are. But the first thing they see is how your eyebrows look, you know? So make sure you got those things looking okay. So then the next step was dressing nicer. I stopped shopping at Forever 21. You can still shop at Forever 21 if that's what you want to. I don't like their quality. I found that all the clothes I ever bought from Forever 21 fell apart after like a year of wearing, and they just weren't worth my time and money. So then I started shopping at Loft, Banana Republic, J. Crew. J. Crew was really expensive for me back in the day. I couldn't afford it. I can only afford like it when it was on sale. So I would shop on the sale racks at J. Crew. I would shop at Banana Republic. I would shop at Gap for certain things. You know, back when Gap actually, Gap still has some nice things. But Loft, stuff like that. These seem like you're thinking to yourself, why are you shopping at these places? Because I wanted to dress nicer. I wanted to have my appearance look classier. So I started dressing from these places and I felt better. I felt like, wow, I look good. Like, I look really classy. You know, I have really crisp, like I have that crisp line in my pants, you know, because I'm wearing some nice trousers. Like, I stopped wearing jeans and I just upgraded my personal style. And I do this every couple of years. But now in life, I'm at the point where the things I buy now, I plan on having until I'm in my 30s or 40s. So back in the day, it was definitely more so I was buying stuff that I would have for a couple years and then my style would change and I wouldn't like it anymore. Now, the stuff that I buy now, I plan on having for the next 20 plus years into like adulthood. So I definitely take a lot more time when I'm thinking about what I like and when I'm thinking about my own personal style and what looks good on me. And whatever doesn't fit in that aesthetic now gets thrown away or given to Goodwill or thrown away. So you don't have to wear Chanel bags. You don't have to wear $7,000 coats. You don't have to do that. You can go to like Pretty Little Thing and find a really nice coat, or Topshop or ASOS. One of those places. But dress the part if you want to look the part. Dressing the part is the first step, and then everything else comes afterwards. Like, looking the part is the first step. The next thing that I feel like people should do if you're trying to level up your life is change the places that you hang around, okay? So change where you go for lunch. I remember back in the day when I had a Cheesecake Factory open up right next beside where I lived, and I decided I'm gonna start going there for lunch. Not everybody can afford that, but to be honest, guys, I wasn't spending like buku bucks at Cheesecake Factory. I was getting like the lunch salmon and a mojito or a lemonade, you know, nothing crazy. But I would sit there, hang out with the bartender and look, and I'd be dressed amazing. I would be dressed really nice, have my makeup done really nice, have my hair done, and I'd be sitting at the bar eating my food, minding my own business. And sometimes you'd be on the phone and you'd be like like snapping your friends. But I was able to meet some really amazing people from doing just that, and it was something that I really enjoyed doing. I did it more so for myself than anything. I didn't do it to meet men or anything like that. But if you're looking to meet a man, that's not a bad way to do it. Just go to really nice restaurants for lunch, you know, do that if that's what you want to do. It works. So another thing I'd recommend is to change the people you hang around. Now, this is a difficult thing, especially when you're having friends who you've been friends with since junior high or high school. But what I realized was I had to get rid of some of these old friends that I had because they were still in a high school state of mind, if that makes sense. They were still gossiping about things that we used to gossip about in high school. They were still talking about problems that we had back in high school. And I'm like, I'm an adult. I'm in college. I'm about to graduate. I'm a 20-something-year-old woman. I cannot be having like high school problems with these people anymore. I have to cut some of these people off. They're not benefiting my life in any way. They're actually like making me revert back. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do that. So there are certain people that I had to cut off. And it was difficult, But to be honest, it was mainly just difficult because I'm a Taurus, and when I'm friends with somebody, I'm friends with them for life until you do something to like wrong me, you know? So I had to really like get in the frame of mind of, this person's not good for me. I can't talk to them anymore. Now the friends that I have are people who are doing better than me, or people who motivate me to do better. So I really think you should start hanging around people who motivate you to do better, or people who are doing better than you. That is some of the best advice I feel like I could give a person, because when you're hanging around people who are like doing like really good, like who are up here, that's gonna do, or it should do nothing but make you want to do better, okay? And the same goes for your social media. Sometimes you're gonna have to go on social media and unfollow a whole bunch of people who aren't doing anything positive, who aren't doing anything but just like, you know, living in the past. You need to follow people who are doing better than you, who you look up to, who are living like their absolute best lives, and you're like, I want a man with a private jet. I want to have a Kelly bag. I want to have that white Chanel bag. Oh my God. I want to have the penthouse suite at the W Hotel. You know, something like that. I follow people who I look up to in certain ways. I also follow people who are lawyers and doctors, etc. But most of the women who I'm friends with on social media and who I follow are people who I look up to in certain ways. Basically, the reason so is that you want to be motivated when you're on social media. You don't want to be putting yourself down or feeling down on yourself. You want to be motivated. You want to be better, not bitter. So don't follow people who make you bitter. Follow people who make you want to do better, okay? And that goes for your friends in real life and your friends on social media. So at the end of the day, remember, everything you deserve, you have, and you deserve everything and more, and you will have everything and more. Believe it, say it until you believe it, and yeah. Hope this video helped you. Hope you liked this video, and I will talk to you guys later.